Should we be worried about the Orlando Magic? The answer is no. You got to play the algorithm a little bit. You know what I mean? They've played 4 games. 4 games. In that 4-game sample size, they've done some things right that we're going to talk about. However, they've also done a lot of things wrong. The only reason that we're kind of starting off with the negativity with the Orlando Magic is because I had really high expectations for this team. Shit, I picked them to go to the NBA Finals. So, I really love this team as constructed. However, some of the things that I was worrying about in my preseason picks and my videos are kind of coming to life. So full disclosure, I'm recording this the day after they just lost to the 76ers in a bad loss. I thought they were coming back for a while, but ended up losing at the end. But we're going to get into it. One of my biggest worries about this team going into the season was that center position. Or should I say more of a paint presence guy. Wendell is not that. You like his stretchability, you like his switchability, kinda. But other than that, he doesn't really give you much. He got you 10 and 10 last night, which is fine. A lot of points in this game where they were kind of clawing their way back offensively, and then defensively they were allowing, guys like Adem Boa to dunk all over them and grab second chance opportunities. There was a stretch in that third quarter or something where, Adem Boa just went off for a 10-minute stretch and was bullying Wendell, bullying Goga. And that's just unacceptable. And the Sixers are 3-0 right now, so give them all the credit in the world. Tyrese Maxey looked phenomenal last night. Kelly Oubre, shout out Kelly Oubre. I think honestly, he was the highest rebounder in the game at 10. Wendell got 10 as well, but yeah, Kelly Oubre, 10 boards. Jabari Walker, 5 boards. Adem Boa, 4. VJ, 4. Tyrese Maxey, 4. Drummond, 6. Quentin Grimes, 5. Everybody was crashing the glass. Everybody. Nobody boxes out on this team. And I think defensively is kind of where I want to transition next because they look terrible defensively. It looks like they don't know their identity on the defensive end. What scheme are they running? What are their principles? You see a lot of pointing. You see a lot of confusion. And I don't know if that's a coaching thing. I really do like Jamal Mosley. I sneakily think that he might have been one of my top picks for Coach of the Year. He might have been I kind of forget who I picked, but super high on this team. I really, really thought this team would be clicking. But again, we're overreacting. You've seen it in this game. They let up 136 against the Sixers. That's unacceptable. Granted, they won against the Heat, but they let up 121. They were down a little bit going into halftime, and I can't lie. I always hate watching just a little bit, just because I saw all the flaws that were going on with this team the last couple days, the shot selection. Paulo's shot to end the game the other night against the Hawks was unacceptable. Stupid shots. I can't lie. Not a lot of paint touches for a team that's big. And again, brings me to my next point, where we're seeing the epidemic in the NBA right now where teams go away from having a true point guard. Now, granted, the Orlando Magic do have a true point guard on that roster in Tyus Jones, but he has been awful for you. And, you see it kind of around the league right now. The Suns are dealing with the same thing. The Timberwolves are starting Big Ragu at their point guard, where he's never been a point guard in his life. Maybe high school, just because he was a ball handler, but never that IQ as of a point guard, is what I'm trying to say. I mean, Jalen Suggs is phenomenal, and I love him. He gave you 12, 6, and 6 all-around game. Defensively, there's not a lot I like defensively over there right now. How they're playing on paper should be an elite defensive team. On paper, fantastic defensive team, especially that backcourt. I don't know if it's the coaching again, like I said, but something, if they're not gelling with each other, they're not talking, I don't know what's going on over there. So something I wrote in my notes too from last night's game, word for word, Paolo settling too much. Use your damn size. He ended with 32, 7, and 5. Great game out of him. I just do think he settles a little bit too much for a guy that big, that strong. Franz does the same thing. Franz a little bit leaner, but his frame, I just think he has all the tools to be able to be crafty around the rim and potentially get to the free throw line a little bit more. Also like a little bit more rebounding out of him. He's more than capable for his size. I just think Franz has that opportunity to be able to drive and kick, you know, get a paint touch or two, and kick it back out to Desmond Bane or, you know, some of your other shooters that you're kind of starting to see that they don't really have a lot of guys who can shoot the basketball again. Again, point guard play, guys who can't shoot the ball in that center position. I feel like it's been a reoccurring issue for this Orlando Magic era, I should say. That Bulls game too, like there was a couple opportunities there where Kevin Huerter had a bunch of open shots that game. He wasn't hitting shit, but he had a bunch of opportunities. And that's not a guy that you really want to leave open. You know, Isaac Okoro was on the court too. He played like 25 minutes. And he gave you nothing. He gave you zero points in 22 minutes. There was a couple times where they would fly at him closing out. Then they wouldn't close out on Kevin Huerter. They would just, you know, kind of wave him off. You know, I don't know. Josh Giddey looked good that game. Vooch kind of tore him up at points. I thought they did a better job rebounding during that Bulls game. Wendell had 13. Paolo had 10. A little bit more aggressive. You know, like they're not getting really a lot from their bench, man. Like, no John Isaac minutes. And I'm not really a John Isaac guy. I think it's been some years and some injuries where we don't even know who the hell he is anymore. But it's like I think he has at least some capability of a vertical threat, maybe. They don't really block a lot of shots. They don't really contest at the rim as much. I don't know. Magic fans, let me know. Are we okay with no John Isaac minutes? The good that I've seen with this team so far is when they're able to get out in transition, they look fantastic. They move the ball up ahead really well. And I think that's the strong suit of this team, which is another thing that I said during some of the off-season stuff. I just think downhill transition situations for this team is where they're really going to thrive. I don't expect this Orlando Magic team to look this bad and lose games like this all season long. I don't know. Let me know. No need to worry. We're 4 games in the season. I think this team's still going to be fantastic. I think they still could be, you know, relatively top of the East if they figure it out. You know, some of the stuff is kind of glaring, but you can address some of that. So it's okay. And Magic fans, let me know what you're thinking about your team right now. Twitter discourse is crazy, especially on Paolo. Oh my God, Paolo's the guy. I mean, I'm just a neutral fan. Some of the things are definitely warranted. I can't lie. People are already coming at Jamal Mosley too, which like I think Jamal Mosley's a damn good coach. But if the defensive lapses and the confusion offensively is kind of catered towards a lack of coaching, then, you know, if we get halfway through the season and you are still having these same lapses and confusion, then something needs to change. Because this is a year where they went all in. And now you see guys like Cole Anthony. I saw this on Twitter too. Guys like Cole Anthony going over there in Milwaukee and killing it. Shout out Cole Anthony. He's been really good. No is your answer, but I would like to see a little bit more out of them. If y'all enjoyed, let me know. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, whatever you got to do. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.